When we announced our wedding date, his sister said, "That's the weekend of my Pilates certification." My husband suggested changing it. I suggested changing the guest list. When I got engaged to Mark, I was over the moon. We had been together for 5 years, and our relationship had weathered its fair share of storms. Mark was my rock, my confidant, and my best friend. We decided to set our wedding date for the first weekend of June, giving us ample time to plan and prepare. We were excited to share the news with our families. Mark's parents were thrilled, offering their support and assistance. However, his sister, Amanda, had a different reaction. "That's the weekend of my Pilates certification," she said flatly. I was taken aback. Amanda had always been self-centered, but I didn't expect her to prioritize a certification over her brother's wedding. Mark, ever the peacemaker, suggested, "Maybe we can look at other dates?" I felt a surge of frustration. "Or we can look at the guest list," I replied. The tension between Amanda and me had always been palpable. She had a way of making everything about herself, and Mark often played the mediator. But this was our wedding, our special day, and I wasn't about to let her dictate terms. I sat down with Mark that evening. "I understand you want your sister there, but this is our day. We can't keep accommodating her whims." He nodded. "You're right. Let's stick to our date." We informed Amanda of our decision. She was livid. "I can't believe you'd choose a date that conflicts with my plans," she snapped. "Amanda, it's our wedding. We hope you can make it, but we understand if you can't," Mark said calmly. Amanda's reaction set off a chain of events. She began rallying other family members, painting me as the villain who was tearing the family apart. Some relatives reached out, expressing their disappointment in our decision. I felt isolated and hurt. This was supposed to be a joyful time, but it was marred by drama. I leaned on my friends and my own family for support. Mark stood by me, but I could see the strain it was putting on him. He was caught between his sister and his fiancée. After weeks of tension, I made a decision. I sat down with Mark and said, "I can't have people at our wedding who don't support us. If Amanda and others feel that way, perhaps it's best they don't attend." He looked at me, a mix of relief and sadness in his eyes. "I hate that it's come to this, but I agree." We sent out revised invitations, making it clear that only those who supported our union were welcome. It was a bold move. Our wedding day arrived, and despite the reduced guest list, it was perfect. Surrounded by those who genuinely cared for us, we exchanged vows and celebrated our love. There was no drama, no tension, just joy and love. Mark and I danced, laughed, and basked in the happiness of the moment. Amanda didn't attend, nor did some other family members. But those who mattered were there, and that's all that counted. In the weeks following the wedding, Amanda reached out, expressing her disappointment in being excluded. I replied, "We wanted our wedding to be about love and support. You made it clear you couldn't offer that." It was a hard stance, but necessary. Mark and I focused on building our life together, free from unnecessary drama. Sometimes, setting boundaries is the best form of self-care. Our wedding taught us that. About 2 weeks after the wedding, I got a message from Amanda. It was short. "Hope it was worth it." I stared at my phone for a minute, rereading it. No greeting. No congratulations. Just that. I showed it to Mark. He rubbed his face and didn't say much. I didn't reply. I knew she wanted a reaction, and I wasn't giving it. A few hours later, my friend Claire called. "Hey, I just saw Amanda's Facebook post. You might want to look at it." I opened Facebook. Amanda had shared an old photo of her and Mark as kids, captioned, "Some people forget where they come from." Family used to matter. The comments were worse. A few of her friends chimed in, talking about how brides these days are selfish, how real families don't let outsiders change them. I didn't know any of them, but it hurt anyway. Mark saw it too. He was quiet for a long time before he finally said, "I'm going to talk to her." I told him, "Only if you want to. Not because you have to." He nodded. I need to. Mark drove to Amanda's place in Orange County that weekend. I didn't go. He called me after 2 hours. It didn't go well, he said. Apparently, Amanda wasn't just upset about the date. She thought I had changed him, that I had pulled him away from their family. She brought up things from years ago, like the time we couldn't attend her birthday party because I had food poisoning. She brought up a vacation Mark took with me instead of joining their family trip to Big Bear. She said I chose you over her, he said. And she's right. I did. But that's not a bad thing. He sounded tired and sad. She said she's done trying. She unfriended me right after I left. The fallout didn't stop with Amanda. Mark's Aunt Marlene stopped returning my calls. His cousin Jack, who used to send us Christmas cards every year, suddenly forgot our address. His mom tried to stay neutral, but it was clear she was hurt too. She just wants us all to get along, Mark said. I replied, she wants me to apologize for not bending over backwards. That's not the same thing. We tried inviting everyone for dinner, to talk, to clear the air. Only his mom and dad showed up. It was polite. Awkward. No one mentioned Amanda, but it hung in the air like smoke. One Saturday, 3 months after the wedding, I got a large envelope in the mail. No return address. Inside was a typed letter. No signature. You're tearing this family apart. He was never like this before you. You don't belong here. You'll never be one of us. There was also a printed screenshot of a tweet I had made during wedding planning that said, I'm not inviting people to our wedding just because they're family. That guilt trip train has left the station. It wasn't even directed at Amanda. I had just been venting, but someone had been watching closely. Things came to a head when Mark's dad called one morning. He sounded off. I just need to clear something up, he said. Did you tell Amanda she wasn't welcome at the wedding? What? No. We said we weren't moving the date, and she chose not to come. Well, she told everyone you sent her a message saying she was banned from attending. I almost laughed. Show me the message then. It doesn't exist. Mark's dad was quiet. I figured. Just wanted to hear it from you. It was a full-blown lie. Amanda had told the entire extended family that I personally banned her from the wedding and that I had threatened to have security remove her if she showed up. None of that happened. I'd had enough. I sat down and wrote a long, calm email. I included timelines, screenshots, receipts. I didn't attack Amanda directly. I simply laid out the facts. I sent it to every family member that had distanced themselves. I CC'd Mark. I ended it with this. You don't have to like me. You don't have to agree with every choice we've made. But you should know the truth before you decide who to blame. Some replied. Some didn't. But one thing was clear, Amanda wasn't the only one with a voice anymore. Amanda responded in the most Amanda way possible. She made a public Instagram story, not naming me, but the caption said, Imagine marrying into a family and thinking you get to control who belongs. The next slide showed a photo of a broken picture frame. One that had held a childhood photo of her and Mark. Shattered glass everywhere. I didn't even tell Mark. He saw it himself. She's spiraling, he said. I don't think she'll stop. One evening in late fall, Mark and I came home from dinner and saw a car parked across the street. It was Amanda's. She wasn't inside it, though. A few minutes later, our doorbell rang. It wasn't Amanda. It was her boyfriend. A guy we had never officially met. He was holding something wrapped in newspaper. It was the shattered photo frame. She asked me to drop this off, he said. I didn't want to, but she said she'd break up with me if I didn't. I blinked. Okay. I think she needs help, he said quietly. She's not okay. We took the broken frame. Mark thanked him. The guy drove off. We didn't hear from Amanda again for a while after that. But something told me it wasn't over. A month later, I started a new job in downtown Los Angeles. It was a marketing role I'd been wanting for a while. Bigger clients. Better pay. New people. During the first week, I met a senior project manager named Tanya. She was smart, direct, and had that seen everything kind of confidence. We hit it off during lunch one day, and I mentioned I had just gotten married. "Oh yeah," she smiled. "To who?" "His name's Mark. Mark Delaney." Her face dropped for half a second. Just enough to notice. "Wait, does he have a sister named Amanda?" My stomach tightened. "Yes." She laughed, like a sharp exhale. "She used to work here. Last year. Didn't end well." My brain was spinning. What happened? "She was here for 6 months. Got written up twice for unprofessional behavior. Said some pretty personal things about coworkers. Honestly, some people thought she had something going on mentally." Then Tanya leaned in. She told people here her brother was being stolen by a manipulative gold digger. "Is that you?" I just nodded. "Guess so." That night, I told Mark what Tanya said. He wasn't surprised. Just tired. The next day, he decided to log into his old email. The one he hadn't checked in months, the one still tied to old college groups and job applications. There were dozens of unread messages. One of them stood out. It was a forwarded email thread. Amanda had used his email address months earlier, back when they shared the same laptop, to message an old friend of his. She pretended to be Mark. The email said, "Hey man, just wanted to give you a heads up. My wife can be really sensitive, so if you come to the wedding, maybe don't bring up the stuff from Vegas. She gets weird about that." It was fake. Mark never wrote that. He didn't even go to Vegas with that friend. Amanda had tried to make it sound like I was paranoid and jealous. And she had sent this to several people. We confronted her. Not in person, through email. We showed her the message. We asked why she had done it. She replied 2 days later. Just 5 words. "You turned him against me." No apology. No denial. Just those words. That's when Mark finally snapped. He called her. Put her on speaker. I sat next to him. He told her, point blank, "You need help. And until you get it, you're out of my life." She screamed. Like, full meltdown. Crying, yelling. She accused me of manipulating him. She even said, "I hope you regret marrying her." Mark didn't yell. He just said, "I don't." And he hung up. The next morning, his mother called. She was crying. "She's in a bad place," she said. "Amanda lost her job again. She's saying scary things." We offered to help her find a therapist. We even offered to cover the cost for a few sessions. His mom said she'd talk to her. A few days passed. Then she sent a message to Mark's mom. If he thinks therapy will fix what she ruined, he's more clueless than I thought. His mom stopped pushing after that. Quietly, she agreed Amanda needed distance. 3 weeks later, I got called into HR at my new job. Someone had submitted an anonymous complaint about me. Said I was unstable, hostile, and openly disrespecting company rules. None of it was true. But it rattled me. I knew it was Amanda. It had her style. The wording even matched the fake emails. Tanya confirmed it, said Amanda once did the same to a coworker she didn't like. HR investigated. I was cleared. But it was a new low. She was now trying to ruin my career. One night, Mark was cleaning out an old storage box in our closet. He found an old photo album from his college days. In one photo, Amanda was hugging a guy. Blonde, tall, smiling. The caption said, "Me and Tyler, Vegas 2014. Mark froze. That's the guy she accused me of going to Vegas with. I never even went. I looked up the name, found the guy on social media, sent him a message, casually asking if he remembered Amanda and Mark being close. His reply stunned me. "Amanda told me back then that Mark was obsessed with you and that you were leading him on. She made it sound like you were using him for money." I stopped hanging out with Mark because of that. She had started her campaign of sabotage years before we even got engaged. That night, Mark sat in silence. He held the photo of Amanda and Tyler in one hand and his phone in the other, scrolling through old messages. He was putting pieces together. Years of confusion now made sense. "She's been doing this since before we were even serious," he said, voice low. "She's been poisoning people against you. Against me." He wasn't angry anymore. He looked hollow. He finally said, "She's not just trying to ruin us. She wants me alone." The next week, Mark got quiet. Focused. He started pulling files, old emails, texts, DMs. He talked to an old coworker who Amanda had harassed in the past. Then he reached out to Tanya from my office. He gathered everything. Then he called Amanda's ex-boyfriend, the one who dropped off the broken frame. Mark didn't tell me everything they said, but after the call, he looked settled. "I'm going to show her what it feels like to lose everything you think you control." Mark created a full digital folder, screenshots, timelines, audio recordings from his call with Amanda and written statements from people she had manipulated. It was organized, airtight. He sent it anonymously to her old employer's HR department, a professional studio she had applied to for Pilates instructor training, her apartment leasing office, which included evidence of her harassing neighbors. Apparently something her ex had mentioned, but the biggest move? He uploaded a private Google document. It was titled, "The Amanda Delaney File." Then he shared the link with everyone in the family. The explosion was immediate. Her training certification was pulled. Apparently, the studio had a clause about demonstrated harassment patterns. Her lease wasn't renewed. Her ex-boyfriend also filed a formal harassment report with the apartment complex. Her family group chat, usually full of baby photos and Sunday brunch invites, blew up. Everyone now saw the full picture. People who had distanced themselves from us quietly reached out. One cousin wrote, "I had no idea. I'm so sorry." Amanda posted a sob story on social media about being attacked by liars, but nobody bought it. Not this time. She was losing control. In all of this, I'll be honest, I made mistakes too. Early on, I could have handled things with more grace. I did make a few snarky posts. I did let my frustration get the better of me sometimes. There were moments where I wanted her to suffer, not just to stop. And that's on me. But I didn't lie. I didn't sabotage. I didn't try to destroy someone's life. I just wanted peace. 3 weeks after everything came crashing down for her, Amanda sent Mark one final message. "I hope you're proud. You humiliated your own sister. She'll never forgive you." Mark stared at it, then said, "She's right about one thing." I asked, "Which part?" He said, "I am proud. For once, I stopped protecting her and started protecting us." He didn't reply. He blocked her number. Deleted the thread. That was a year ago. We haven't heard from Amanda since. She moved out of California. Deleted most of her social media. Last we heard, she was working at a yoga studio in Colorado under a different last name. Sometimes, I still think about her. About how jealousy, when left unchecked, can rot a person from the inside out. And I think about Mark, who finally saw the truth, who chose us. In the end, we didn't just survive her storm. We outlasted it. And when it was all said and done, she was the only one left standing in the wreckage she created.